What is up? My name is Pete Kopech. I'm here with my co-host Ashley Kopech, and we are a husband and wife real estate team, and we explore towns around North Jersey so you don't have to.
Today, we are going to talk about Westwood, New Jersey, what it's like to live there, what it's like to go on date nights there, what our day trip itinerary looked like. So, let's get into our absolute must see spots.
All right, let's do it. First things first. So, where is Westwood, New Jersey? So, it is located in northern Bergen County. So, it is a classic New Jersey suburb, but has some of those rural feels, and it has like a historic style downtown, and commuting is super easy from here as well. So, Westwood is actually known as the hub of the Pascack Valley. It was named after the Pascack Brook that runs throughout some of these towns. And the Pascack Valley really consists of 8 municipalities. So we've got Montvale, Park Ridge, Woodcliff Lake, Hillsdale, Westwood, Rivervale, Washington Township, and Emerson. So that's a little bit about the town. Where did we start out?
So, we always start with coffee. So, we picked one of the newest spots in Westwood. And this place has been on my list since they opened. I'm so excited. It's a little different than normal, which is amazing. So, it's called Nightshade Coffee. This spot is such a cool and different vibe. So, they are medieval gothic almost, and they definitely have such a cool curated environment that they have put together. Everything is very intentional. Their menu plays off of like some music and stuff like that. You see like really cool.
Yeah, there were some titles for like the iced coffee, like music titles. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And the artwork on the walls. It's very, very cool space. The coffee was very good. We do what we normally do, cappuccino and a black coffee, and my coffee was very good. How was yours?
Yeah, it was good. It's so interesting. Like, you always plan these days out. So whether or not I really know what I'm walking into is kind of to be determined. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. And when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, this is like a really unique place. Like you said, it was very dark, that cool green couch that they had in there. So, I spoke with Hunter. He's one of the owners and some of the staff, and they really were very intentional when they created this place, and you can tell, like, it really shows.
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting as a business owner, if you come from that, like, we love emo shows and punk rock,
yeah.
and like, I'm a big heavy metal guy. And so like that crowd, that like scene is usually a little more like outside versus inside kind of thing. And so it's got to be an interesting dynamic where you're trying to create this like coffee shop or any kind of business for your tribe, and you've got a lot of influencers showing up and people who maybe don't get it, and you have to now separate being like a business owner to like a scene kid or scene like. But they balanced it very well. It was very inviting, and it seems like a cool place. They do like game night, Dungeons and Dragons, all kinds of stuff.
It's that's really what cool. I think that was cool too, because they stay open later. So something that it seems like they're trying to create is like maybe for people who don't drink, and they can come more after hours, hang out all day. Where most coffee shops close by 3 or 4, they're open till 6 every day, and well, except for Tuesdays when they're closed, just overall. But they do events at night. They're doing like the bonsai stuff. They're doing game nights. They're doing all this stuff to bring other people in, which I think is a really cool thing that you're not seeing at a lot of coffee shops.
Yeah. And they had that matcha. We're not really matcha drinkers, but they were talking about this like blue. Do you remember what it's called?
Yeah, so it's like they have a whole matcha menu, and that's like one of the things that they say they do really well. We're coffee purists, so that's not really our vibe, but that is they use the blue spirulina, which is what makes it blue, and it's not a chemical necessarily. So it's like actually not, it's not bad for you. Matcha's got really good stuff in it for you. It's just, not something we typically go for, but it seems like their matcha menu, if you're into that, go get some. So.
Yeah, so keep it up. Nightshade Coffee, definitely a spot we would frequent often for sure. So
yeah.
Next, we're going to get into the park. So Pascack Brook County Park. It's bigger than it looks. So now, again, we are in February, so it's a little brutal right now as far as, the beautiful scenery. So you have to kind of look past that. But it is a 79-acre park. And when you first walk in there and drive through there, we were like, okay, it seemed kind of like a smaller park. Then we came to find out from exploring a little bit more, it actually goes back quite a bit.
Yeah.
It goes all the way from where the entrance is to Westwood Ave. So it's almost like it shares, you know, from main road to main road. So there's a lot of space there, which was really cool. Would definitely love to go back like when it's warmer out and kind of get an idea and maybe walk some of those trails.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely a lot bigger than it looks.
Yeah. The Bergen County parks are really great.
Yeah. It had some ball fields, baseball fields, tennis courts, playgrounds, you know, all your normal stuff there. So it's a county park, so usually really well maintained here in Bergen County. So definitely check that out as well.
Yeah. And then where do we go next?
Yeah, it's pizza. Always got to find the pizza spots.
So I found a place called Luciano's Homemade. This is the highest rated by far in Westwood. And you tried to derail us. You tried to derail us on another spot.
So yeah, so like I like the more like, you know, the ones that look like they've been there 100 years, you know, and no frills. Like sometimes they have like the best pizza, but not always. And as it proved here, it was not always.
Yeah, so this place is rated 4.8 on Google, which is a very highly rated score, especially for a pizza place. Overall, we walked in super welcoming. We actually went in a little later than lunchtime, so it was actually a great experience because nobody else was there. So it was like, 2:30 in the afternoon. We missed the rush. It was perfect. We got to meet the owner, Joe. He was incredible. It was like exactly what you wanted from the guy who runs the pizza place. But then you also walk in, you talk to the ingredients and stuff. We have such an appreciation for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so every year we do a pie day event where I'm making homemade pizzas and, pizza kits, and we're giving them out to people. So like we've tried a bunch of different recipes, different ingredients, and King Arthur high gluten flour has been the best. So when I was looking on Instagram and I saw that's what they use, and then for the pasta they use the Caputo semolina flour, it was like you could just tell like it was going to be. It felt like it had to be good.
Yeah.
And sure enough, again, I do the Instagram review, so I don't want to like repeat it, but it was, the flavor in the dough was fantastic. The whole vibe, the grandma. So when we tried, I always do the regular slice, the New York style slice, traditional pizza. We got to see how that goes. A lot of flavor in that, really good. Then we got the grandma slice, corners only. We only do corners. And I expected the crust to be really good. You could just see, but the marinara sauce was out of this world. When I bit into it, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit more, and then they were like, you got to wait till you try the vodka slice, the drunken grandma.
Yeah.
And I've been dreaming of this pizza ever since. We had a showing the next day. Yeah. It was like 10:30. I'm like, can I get in there a little open? Like we met the owner. Maybe we can try it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to go back and try the pasta too. There's a huge difference between pasta that's made with just any normal ingredient, I guess like high produced ingredients, and then quality ingredients. And it typically results in how we feel after we eat pasta. So I'm excited to try this because when you can eat pasta and not feel like garbage, that's
I feel like I can eat this pasta. And I don't, unless it's good quality, I'm not ordering it out, especially because we can make it ourselves at home. And it's important how you feel when you eat something like that. And I think for me, like I'm excited to go and actually have some pasta from this place. I feel like, Pat's running a good ship back there, which is Joe's father-in-law. So it's also family-owned business. They have another location in Madison, which I'm excited to check out too. And it's interesting when you talk to the owner and they're like, this is selling really well here, but this is selling differently here. And you just that kind of stuff, and how, people are interacting differently with the same menus. That kind of stuff's really cool. And when you hear an owner talk that intensely about, yes, I know exactly what's going on at this restaurant versus this one, all that stuff is like really a sign of a good business. Yeah, I think.
I agree. He was plugged in.
Yeah.
He definitely knew what he was, it was important that those things were done and highlighted, and it shows in the pizza. So really good pizza. Can't wait to try the pasta. Sandwiches. Shout out to Joe and Pat and everybody at Luciano's Homemade. When you're in Westwood, you got to stop by.
You have to. So good.
Tell them the Kopec sent you. All right. So then after that, we did some shopping.
Yeah. So we went across the street, which was also great because everything in Westwood is pretty close. So we went to there's a couple of stores that I remember from years ago when my girlfriend and I used to go to Westwood quite a bit, and I remember these stores, and they were still there, and I was pumped to actually go and explore them again. So they're called... They're the ginger houses, pretty much. So it's Ginger Dream, Ginger and Cream, and then Ginger Kids. And there are these 3 residential homes in a row on a block. So they are all converted into stores. They were residential homes before. And it says the owner's concept is a mini neighborhood department store, which is so cool because one of them is adult women's clothes, one of them is like teens and kids, and then the other one is like home goods and gifts and things like that. So it was such a cool curated store, which I feel like you're not going to find that in a department store. You're not going to find that in a mall. These are things that are, existing and in a great place in these small towns, and I love these kinds of stores. Like I could walk around these stores for hours, and I did. As long as I'm like Pete's talking to the person, and I'm just kind of meandering around, and we're supporting and we're shopping, and it's a really fun space to be in.
And even just like as you're talking about it and thinking about where it was and some of the other places we've seen, it's almost like kind of like almost like an Etsy shop, but like in real, like it's like in actually there, right? Like it's actually stuff that people make and is like smaller and niche and kind of.
And they're sourcing specifically for the people in these towns that shop there, which is such a cool concept.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And so it's called Ginger and Cream, Ginger Dream, and Ginger Kids. So that leaves us with the question, are the owners redheads? Do they really like maybe Asian food and like ginger, like with sushi you get like the ginger, or they cook with ginger a lot? Or was the owner named Ginger? So if you know the origin of Ginger Kids, Ginger Cream, and Ginger Dream, drop it in the comments, because that's one thing we didn't ask when we were there, and I'm very curious where the ginger comes into play. So,
but a really cool spot, and honestly, we always are support local, so go there, see them. They're really doing a great job.
Yeah, awesome. And then so from there we hit the downtown.
Yeah, which stays on this theme, right? So the downtown is all mom and pop. You're not seeing any main chains except for there's a Starbucks, but there's Starbucks everywhere. So, that does not take away from the downtown. There is a very cool coffee shop scene. There's a few of them. There is, Bergen County Camera, that store's been around for a very long time.
I was bummed they closed, because that's the only thing. It's like we're noticing like these more historic or downtowns, like they close early. Like a lot of stuff was closing at like 5 o'clock.
5, 6, is when everything was closing down for the day. But that kind of stuff though is cool that it's still up and operational and people are in and out, and I'm sure that street is super hustling bustling on a nice day. So that kind of stuff is great. And there's 2 really old spots in town, which I think is always just adds to the character. There is the movie theater that's still up and running that was from 1928. And we were just peeking in the windows, they weren't open. But, peeking in the windows and stuff, it looks like you're in an old school movie theater. It's so cool. And they have, new releases and stuff like that, too. So they're doing their thing, which is great. And then the other spot that we stopped into from 1928,
Conrad's, baby.
Yeah.
So we were just, walking down and just happened to see this old school candy store, and I was like, we have to pop in here. We really weren't, it wasn't on our list. I'm not really sure how, because then once I shared it seemed like a lot of people know about Conrad's. Even my man Brian here helping us out was like, did you guys go to that candy store? So I'm glad we did. And it's freezing out. It was cold out, but they had the ice cream sandwich, and I was like, homemade ice cream, like there's no way I'm passing it up. But it just was it was literally, they described themselves as like Westwood's oldest business. And it felt like that when you walked in. You just felt, I think it's so cool when you can walk down a street and you see the movie theater and you can feel the generations of people who walk down the street and experience the same things. When you walk into this chocolate candy store, ice cream store, it's a conversation around all the locals and like generations of people who have spent time here. And that is some of the things that make these towns and what makes this country great. Like, I think it's just, that's part of our history, part of all that. And when you can live in a town that you get that, which I think is, listen, New Jersey, love New Jersey, born and raised. There are definitely struggles, right? Taxes are high, traffic is rough, all that kind of stuff. But when you go and you live in some of these other places, right? Midwest, wherever, these new developments down in Florida, you don't have this kind of antique, old school, old world stuff. And it's something that really makes our area special. So I think big shout out to Conrad's. Definitely check them out. Yeah. And again, I didn't really plan on talking about New Jersey versus the rest of the country, but I love New Jersey. So I will always give them a shout out when I can.
Well, and I think another thing I just want to throw out about Conrad's, because I think you talked about the ice cream, but I think the candy store portion of that place is such a unique thing that you don't really see anymore either, where it's almost like the bakery glass cases where you can buy candy and stuff by the pound, which is just such a cool old school thing. Like, it is really transporting you back in time, and I really just think it's such a beautiful experience that's still happening, and it's very cool.
Yeah.
So either way, I think it's a really great spot.
Yeah.
And then
so next we had to hit up the Smash House.
yeah, I was so excited to tell you about this place. Yeah.
So tell us about Smash House.
So Smash House we like to try to, on these videos, we try to go and see what the indoor outdoor, like, what are you doing if you're hanging out in this town for the afternoon? Smash House it's one of its own. I know that, rage rooms and things like that are a thing right now. But the owner, Marianne, this is a one-off. She's doing this herself, and she created such a cool environment. It is, you walk in, it's very warehouse garage, and they have all these rooms set up. I think there's like maybe 4 rooms in total. There are 2 Smash rooms and 2. Actually, I think I'm wrong. I think it's 4 Smash rooms and 2 splatter rooms. We did the Smash room, and it was a 15-minute session, which was perfect because, number one, it's affordable, and number two, I mean, we could have kept going, but that 15 minutes was like perfect. We got it's like cathartic to get you're throwing wine bottles and glasses and plates, and it was just such a fun experience. And so for 15 minutes, it was $35 a person, and we were able to go in. You had 2 buckets of breakables, one for each of us. You have your whole suit, and you go in, and there's music blasting, and you could just let loose for a few minutes. We both walked out of there, I think, lighter. It was so fun.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they were playing Godsmack, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, all kinds of rage music, and it so just fun. That's basically my playlist when I'm at the gym. So it just felt so good. And then it was funny because we filmed a little bit and then didn't want to break the camera, so then I went back out into the main area, and Ash is in there by herself, and I could see her on the camera. I know, don't be embarrassed. And
I'm embarrassed.
But you were just having a good time, even by yourself, and just smashing stuff. It was just
just dancing around,
smashing stuff. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and some of the perks too. You can actually bring your own stuff.
Yeah.
So, we work with a lot of sellers, and so some people I don't think would like the idea of someone smashing some of their breakable items, but I did think we've all got that, situation where maybe mother-in-law gifted some gifts, maybe
but not
some
your mother-in-law,
not
right?
my mother-in-law,
No.
Not my mother-in-law, of course not, but everyone has a mother-in-law that maybe gifted them something that they had to keep on the shelf, or they had to bring out every holiday, that maybe at a certain point when it's time to go, they'd love to just smash that thing and never have to look at it ever again.
Or if you know that you have breakables that you can bring joy.
Well, that's the thing.
That's such a cool thing. And Marianne said, if you can smash it, we'll take it.
Yeah. So give that, if you got some stuff, maybe you're moving or whatever, or you just have some stuff you want to get rid of, didn't sell at a garage sale, and you can break it, give them a call, because they're always looking for donations of stuff for people to smash.
Yeah.
Or bring your own stuff to smash, whatever you prefer.
Such a cool experience. It was a fun thing to do, and didn't eat up all the day either. It was a great time. I mean, I think we could see ourselves doing a adult night at this place too, and have some friends out and go for it. I think it'd be fun.
Meditation and yoga in the morning, Smash House in the afternoon. I mean, it's a nice.
It's all the things. It's full circle. It's really good. Thing. Yeah.
So all right, so let's get into some more stuff about just Westwood overall. So, just as far as the neighborhood and kind of some of the town. So again, it's a pretty traditional, what you would see in as far as North Jersey suburb, or Bergen County northern Bergen County suburb.
Yep.
The homes are a little more spread out than maybe you would see in a southern Bergen County, like parts of Hasbrook Heights or a Rochelle Park, some of those areas, even Essex County and some other areas.
Yep.
There is a New Jersey Transit train that runs right through the center of town. As 2 kids who grew up in Saddlebrook, we know that there are pros and cons to that. So the train coming through creates traffic on a regular basis. At the same time, it can be super convenient if you commute in and out of the city. Yeah,
the positive to that is it's a commuter train, so it's quick. So it's not a freight train through the middle of town. That is the Saddlebrook kid comment, and if you know, you know. But that Westwood quick commuter train, I think it is a really big draw that you can from most of the town seemingly walk to, the stop, and, there's parking and all that stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. The town overall has like a real green spaces kind of throughout it. We talked about the park that you have there, and then the Pascack Brook that kind of seems to and even just talking about like the Pascack Valley and kind of really thinking about it, that it makes sense because that whole area is like not rural. I feel like rural is the wrong word for it, but it is like a North Jersey suburb or northern Bergen County suburb where you still get some of that engulfed in nature, but you're not secluded so much. So that I think is a really interesting and really cool part of Westwood.
I agree.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think the fact that we had that feeling about the green spaces and there were a lot of trees, you're getting the nature from the brooks and all of that stuff in such a town that still has the downtown and still has, the commuter friendliness. I mean, and the fact that all the trees and everything were dead this time of year, but you're still feeling that. Like I can't imagine how beautiful, like we have to do this tour again in the summer when everything is green and bloomed. I mean, I really think it's a great spot.
We're going to go get pizza.
Of course we
Pasta.
are. Yeah, we're now regulars.
Yeah, 100%.
Joe, we're coming.
Yeah. And as it relates to the real estate market there. So in 2025, there were 63 homes sold. There's, it's kind of hard to really nail down, but there's somewhere around 3,000 homes, residential homes in Westwood. And so that's about a 2% turnover, which is not a lot. So 63 opportunities in 2025 to purchase a residential real estate. The median sale price in 2025 was $740,000. Mm-hmm. The average days on market, so how long a home sat on the market before it went under contract, was about 25 days. And then 17% of the buyers in 2025 were listed as living in Westwood before they moved to Westwood. So they purchased in Westwood, but they had already previously lived there. 17%, that's a pretty solid number.
It's another town where, people are staying. People are staying for the long haul if they grew up there seemingly or,
Yeah, I think Verona was closer to 11%, if I remember correctly. So it feels like Westwood has even a little bit more of that. People want to stay in town. So that's always good. But again, 17%. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get maximum exposure, you don't really want to focus necessarily on where you are because that's a small percentage. But I also did see that the majority of people who moved into Westwood were New Jersey residents. So you're not seeing a lot of people move from out of state into New Jersey, which I think we'll see is probably a pretty common theme throughout New Jersey overall. So, all right, so that's a little bit about the real estate market. Let's go to happy hour. Yeah. So we had 2 spots we actually hit for happy hour. The first spot you had picked out, and the second spot was a recommendation from a friend of ours. One of my best friends his family's lived in Westwood for a long time. This place is a staple, and we actually have never been there.
Local gem. Definitely a spot where the locals go, which is super cool, which we love that. I mean, PJ Finnegan's.
So your classic Irish, Irish dive bar, stuff all over the walls, pictures all over the walls.
Cool. Yeah.
We didn't eat there. We just had a drink or two. The locals were there.
But it smelled so good.
Yeah,
it smelled like burgers and French onion soup. It was such a great, so cozy when we came in from just the cold street. It was such a cozy, cool spot in there. Yep. It was really great.
Got some Guinness, so grabbed a pint at the Irish pub. That's the way to go.
Yep.
So big shout out to PJ Finnegan's. Very, very cool.
Can't wait to go back for French onion soup.
Yeah, you love some French onion soup.
Who doesn't?
So then we had also targeted on our list Osteria Crescendo.
Yeah, so Osteria Crescendo is a Robbie Felice restaurant. If you follow any of that, he's very big in this area right now. So he has 2 restaurants in Westwood. They're next to each other. So it's Osteria Crescendo, which is one of his older ones, and Bar Mutz, which is his newer one. So I had never been in Osteria Crescendo. It has a full bar. It's Italian. We didn't eat there, but so we walked in. We were met with very friendly service. That's definitely a theme in his restaurants. And it's a lot cozier than I feel like you saw online. I thought it was a lot bigger and a little bit more stuffy, and I did not get that feeling when we were inside. It was actually really cool. I can't wait to go back because the menu does look very good there. Overall, I like his restaurants, so we do seem to follow that along. Bar Mutz, though, we had gone in the past and, maybe a month or 2 ago, and that experience was very cool. The 2, showstoppers were the secret menu chicken parm.
Yeah. So what was it? It was only like Mondays and Tuesdays, or
Yeah.
I forget when they do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so that, and I'll see if I can grab a video from when we went, because it was a few months ago. But that's what we were gunning for, was like the chicken parm. I mean, a lot of people do it now. I feel like they were one of the first ones I saw doing it, where they cook the chicken and they put it on your plate, and then they come out with the hot pan and they just like slide that bad boy right on the chicken.
cheese,
And it was so good. And what was the other dish we had that was amazing?
The trottole, which is the short rib ragu, and all their pastas homemade and fresh, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But their sauces, their like the texture of their meals, everything is very good. I mean, even Viaggio and Wayne, which we're not going to talk about that, in depth now, but every restaurant that we've gone to that he's done has definitely they're elevating an experience, and it's a really nice experience each time.
Yeah, Robbie Felice is like the celebrities, like the hot chef right now in the area. So definitely check out like any of his restaurants have been good. So unique, they're all unique, but very good.
Which is great.
So all right, so let's see, we had coffee. We did some exploring, some outdoor stuff. We did the smash room. Now we've got our happy hour out of the way. Now it's time for date night.
Yeah, date night. So we did Morgan Steakhouse.
Yeah, Morgan Steakhouse and Sushi Bar. So their concept is a steakhouse plus sushi. They also have omakase, which was interesting. And it's all under one roof. It is BYO, so bring your own alcohol. The one thing, so it was interesting, the vibe. I wasn't sure what really to expect. Again, you searched it, so you knew a little bit more. The horse shirts were interesting.
The horse shirts were interesting. Yeah.
So the vibe was really cool. So it was, what do they call it? They call it Western Soul / country chic. Yeah. I would have no idea what that meant, but having been in there, I would now say,
it makes sense.
I would say, that's actually pretty much what it is.
Yeah. It's definitely themed, but it didn't feel like a cheesy theme. It was very much like we could have been in the middle of Montana somewhere, and this is what the spot looks like, which is pretty cool.
It's legit what it felt like. Yeah. Like it felt like
the saloon doors, and
I could walk outside and see the range, or whatever they call the mountains in Utah or something. So that was really cool.
It was done in a very cool way.
It was. The horse shirts, like I said, I had to mention them because I was like, those are interesting shirts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like more. It's definitely a place for a nice meal.
Absolutely.
But it definitely also has that country vibe or Western vibe, which they've got good cows out west, I guess.
So what did we eat though?
Yeah, so the food, the most important thing is that the food, and the food was fantastic. So you break down the food, actually.
So appetizers, we did stuffed seafood clams, which were very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, I think, and with those too, it's like you never know if you're going to get like a lot of breading in them or more seafood. Yeah. These were like all seafood. They were delicious. They were very good.
Yeah, they were very, very good. We also did a sushi roll just to try it. There was an interesting taste, I think, in the rice in that we couldn't identify, but it was very good. Like it was good. The quality of the fish was good. Nothing felt like it was not made to order.
Correct.
Yeah. But the showstopper, I mean, dinner was fantastic. Right, I feel like fantastic. It's a tall order, but it was fantastic.
The ribeye was fire. I mean, it was so like the outside. I think it was like 20, or I forget how it was aged. Whatever ribeye, right? We got the ribeye.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. We always get it medium rare. That's our jams. Yeah. If you're cooking it well done, I don't know why you're at a steakhouse, but that's just me.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. That's fine. But it was so like crunchy and like crispy on the outside with a ton of flavor, and then the inside was like cooked to perfection. It was soft and juicy. I hadn't heard of Morgan's. I think it's a newer place.
Newer. Yeah, it's newer.
Really good. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it was one of the better steaks I feel like we've had in a while.
Yeah.
It was very good. Yeah. And I mean, we also got the Yukon mashed potatoes, which were super creamy and not overly dairy tasting. Like it didn't taste like it was a bunch of cream and sour cream and cream cheese or any of that in there. It was really well made.
Yeah.
Really well made. And the cream spinach, which the flavor was very good, and I know this is sacrilegious to say, but it was too much cheese, which I never say that, ever.
Yeah, we were eating it and we were like, the first bite, it's like anytime there's too much cheese, right? The first one's like, damn, that's good. And then you start eating more and you're like, all right, I think I've hit a little too much, which is, like you said, funny for us to say.
Sacrilegious, I feel like.
But the flavor was really good.
Yes.
It just was, the cheese kind of overpowered it a little bit.
Very rich. But the steak and the potatoes, my goodness, like I'm excited to go back. Like I do think that'll be a place that we go to again.
Well, it's funny because like whenever we go to a steakhouse, it's
Yeah.
like we know we're going for the steak,
Mm-hmm.
but we're also like, but what sides are we gonna get?
Yeah.
And like you always got to have the cream spinach,
gotta
and
know.
I always have to have the mashed potatoes. So that's
Mhm.
usually what we get. But there was always so many. Like
Yeah.
you want to go with like a group because then you can try a bunch
Yeah.
of different stuff because they had like the lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah.
The stuff, the baked potato, stuffed
Mhm.
baked potato, a bunch of good looking stuff.
And overall, this menu was cool too. So they had some different stuff on the menu, which I think played into their, kind of Western vibe. They definitely had some more game meats and stuff like that. So they had like a wild boar sausage with broccoli rabe, which is cool because I feel like you're getting like that, the game meat with the wild boar, but then you're also getting the North Jersey Italian influences with the broccoli rabe, which was a cool, juxtaposition. And I think also the bison carpaccio, like where do you see that on a menu? Like just some fun, cool stuff that I think is going to keep them relevant and keep them fresh. So, and the service was great too. So, really enjoyed date night.
Yeah, service was good for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there on a Wednesday evening, so maybe not prime.
No, but that is how we prefer to date night. So
Yeah, that's how we prefer it. But
Yeah.
we can't speak to how busy it may or may not get. They also had the surf and turf pizza,
Oh,
which
looked good.
again,
we're gonna go
it's
back just for appetizers.
I mean, it's like the more we're doing this, the more it's like there's so many good places to eat where we live. It's
amazing.
It's like we know it, but when you start actually picking out it per town, you're like, oh my gosh. And then just even the different dishes when you're there.
Yeah, very cool.
Another cool thing that they had there was the saloon doors into the bathroom, like
Yeah.
towards the bathroom
Yeah.
area. Watch out for the lady; she will shoot you. And once you go, you'll know what we mean by that.
It's a cool spot, and I'm happy we date nighted there. That's not how you say that, but that's okay.
Yeah. And you're not actually going to get shot when you go there. So
No.
let me just be clear there.
Yeah.
All right. So we kind of covered everything that we did our entire day. So comes down to the end here. And would you live in Westwood? Ash, would you live in Westwood?
I don't know that I would. I think I really like to be close enough to Westwood to go hang out in Westwood. That's how I feel about it. I think the taxes are a little higher in Westwood, and I don't know that that is where I'm trying to live necessarily, but I really like that we can drive to Westwood and hang out in the downtown. I want to be accessible to Westwood.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think whenever you're going to live in Northern Bergen County, you're going to pay higher
Agreed.
taxes. And I think Westwood's actually not too bad relative to some of the other towns.
Mm-hmm.
I would live in Westwood.
Yeah?
I think I love that you are pretty close to commuting. You got the train there. It's not too bad. The one downside is, from the Parkway or any major highway, it is like a good depending on traffic, 5 to 10 minutes from the Garden State Parkway through Township of Washington, or Washington Township is really what we call it, to the downtown of Westwood. So that would be tough.
It did feel like a good amount of traffic in the main area. At certain points when we were leaving, Morgan's at the end of the night, it was pretty quiet, but most things were closed at that point.
Yeah, but I think the reasons I would really live there is because you do kind of feel like you're surrounded by nature, but also not secluded.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really great thing. And the downtown is awesome. I don't know about the nightlife in Westwood. I don't know that it's necessarily the place you're going out like for a, bachelorette party or something like that. Like that's not really the vibe.
You're going
but
for a nice dinner and drinks.
You're going
that's kind of
nice
where
dinner
the
and drinks.
situation-
There's definitely a lot of local places. I think that's always great. So yeah, I would live in Westwood. There's some things you got to deal with, but I would
there's a
live
give
in
and take
Westwood.
everywhere. Yeah. So thanks for joining us on this. I feel like Westwood was a fun one to do. So if you want our itinerary, everything that we've done in this day is all below in the show notes, all of our resources. We also have the NJ Transit and the school resources. So if you're interested in Westwood, look below. We have everything listed out for you.
Yeah, and of course, if you're interested in moving to Westwood or anywhere in North Jersey, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. So all of our contact information is below. Thanks so much again for watching. Please sure to like and subscribe and comment below anything that maybe you feel we missed about Westwood or something that you like about Westwood. Our goal is just to keep bringing you great content so that we can explore these towns so you don't have to, or at least choose the ones that you do want to.
Yeah.
Until the next one. Later.
Later.